Recording in progress.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fallout RoundTable. Today, I am your host. I am Jaxus, also known in other circles as Patrick Conway. We have with us Cilior or Eric, and we have Dawn, also known as Sassy Lady. If you get a chance, go to Fallout Roundtable on YouTube. You can, subscribe there and check us out. You can also send us a message at Fallout RTB, and that would be at Fallout RTB is X. That's it. I think I got it because they keep changing it. I don't know. That would be previously known as Twitter. I feel like we should call it Symbol or something. For those of you not old enough.
The app formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, the app formerly known as Twitter. Or you can send us an email at followrtb@gmail.com. All right, folks. Today we're kind of just checking out some of the news stuff, and we're going to shoot the shit about some Fallouty stuff. Maybe there's some updates that I don't know about. Probably not. But, we're here to, act weird and talk about Fallout at the same time. And stuff. So,
Yeah.
You guys been doing the Fallout Fission stuff, right?
Yeah, we've been fishing.
Yes, yeah, lots of fishing.
He's had much better luck than I have.
Well, so you
Only
just
with
said
one
you got some
character.
legendary fish, right?
Yeah, my ghoul character, Matt, he actually got all three legendaries in the last couple of days. So
Is he the
he's
one
been
getting the
pretty lucky.
axolotls too, or the axolotls?
Yeah, well, all three of my characters have. Well, I guess three of my characters
Brag.
have. Two of my Xbox characters, and then one of my PlayStation characters. I need to play on PC more. So yeah, all three of them have gotten the axolotl title. So yeah, it's been fun, and you got to have a lot of patience.
Yeah, well, I may have been catching something good tonight, but they're just too dang fast, and I don't have the
Mhm.
faster reel or whatever on a couple of them.
Yeah, so
I'll lose them.
I did a lot of grinding. So Matt now has the Mark IV reel, which adds line strength, and that has really helped.
After you catch 250 fish or something.
No, you have this. That's the one where you got to catch five death jaws, five purple radpoles, and five glowing bog lurkers.
Oh,
So
I'm not to that one yet, I guess. Well, probably because I'm working on the Mark III. Yeah, because I think not even all of them have the Mark.
Douglas has Mark III. I don't. I think, and that helps too. And he has improved bearings now. He still doesn't have the advanced drag.
I
The
have
advanced
advanced
drag
drag
is
on one
yeah.
character, and I just got the attractive hook for her. So I switched it because I was like, well, let me see if there's a big. I don't notice a difference between
It,
the two.
yeah. I think it just decreases time to hook,
Yeah,
if I remember it.
which
But
I
yeah, it
don't
doesn't
notice
help with
it
landing it.
being that big of a like. It might bob 4 instead of 5 times. Would be.
Yeah.
So
So basically, it does the same thing as grilled fish.
I had
yeah,
something I wanted to talk about, and I'm trying to find it because
but I did catch glowing. It's my Ohio River camp, not the one that got blocked, but a different one that I had built. That's like
you had a camp that got blocked.
yeah, the Mags water park camp.
Oh,
That was down by Camden Park. It was
Okay.
between Camden Park
'Cause of
and
the
the house
fission
with
thing,
the
right?
roach with the wedding ring. It got blocked by the new camp blocking whatever that they did with the update. Just like I got my Helvetia camp on that character, my birthday camp was blocked when they widened the do not build zone for Helvetia.
Is it just south of Camden, or
Now
where
it's
exactly is?
north between Camden Park and the house that has the roach with the wedding ring in it.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think
it's
I've seen that
just north.
house.
The house? You've
Yeah,
not
where
been there
the
with the
wedding
roach
ring
sitting on
is.
the toilet
I don't think
in the top
so.
hat?
I need to find that. That sounds hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's north of Camden. And so I had the water park camp in between there had like the pool and the hot tubs
Oh,
and the
that's
water
right. Yeah.
park and yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
I
have
mean
been there.
it was filmed in one of Shred's
Yeah, I was there. That was the first
Flash mobs.
flash
Yeah,
mob I was
which is
at.
it will live forever in the flash mob, but it's gone now. And I'll rebuild it. And I keep
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, I'll do different things because, now we've got like the sea serpents and stuff like that, which could be kind of fun to play with. But that camp was maxed too. So I don't know what I'll do. It was pretty maxed. It had a bar on the top floor. It had a locker room and a game room in the tower for the waterfall, the water slide.
Come up.
And I had the little ice cream hut up on the road, for your snacks when you were hot and you wanted the snacks. And lots of
Yeah, the
lounge
little cookie jar.
chairs for the
Yeah.
parents to watch their kitties running around. I mean, it's the whole thing.
I had a thing on a news update. Remember we were talking about that guy who was going to he was talking about the difficulties in redoing Fallout 1 and 2, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who that guy's name was and
Oh,
lost
you're
it.
talking about Tim Kaine?
Was that it? Tim Kaine? That
Well,
might be
Tim
it.
Yeah,
Kaine is the one
he's
who
one of the
did
original
the
creators.
Fallout 1
Yeah.
and 2.
Right, but he was talking about doing some new stuff, like redoing it, right?
No, people are talking about they wanted it, and he was saying that he didn't think he wanted to do that,
Right.
or that maybe like they shouldn't. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Todd said that they don't plan to do it.
I don't think Todd ever did because it was so different than what he does.
Right.
Like I think he would remake New Vegas before he did that.
I would like it if they would redo 1 and 2 in the same premise that they did 3 and 4. That
Well,
same type of gameplay.
I would
I
love
think
that.
somebody will.
Well, they were going to. There was a mod project that was working on that, and they stopped. Like they just quit working on it.
I remember
Is that the
about
one
a
that
year
quit?
ago. I remember about a year ago.
I thought New Mexico
he sat
quit
down
too.
with
I mean,
TKS Mantis and they did an interview and they talked a lot about that kind of stuff.
it's hard for these guys when they're making these mods. It's a lot of work, and they're doing this like
It's all crowdfunded too.
free
Like
time. Yeah,
it's either
because
crowdfunded or out of their own pocket.
right, because they can't make money on it. It's not their
Right.
IP.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but like you're asking people to like dedicate a lot of time to make a mod. You're remaking a game, but it's just going to be a mod.
Yeah, I mean, so it makes you wonder what these guys, what's in it for them. I mean, they must love the game so
Well,
much.
Hmm.
there's that, and if they do a good job, modders a lot of times are tapped for developers.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
And that's what happened with Fallout
Eleanor
London.
has
Like
been
they
doing.
lost what at least one or maybe two of their people because they got hired.
Yeah. But no,
So
that's
that
what's
slowed them
been going
down
on with
because then they had to go find new people to start working on the mod again because they were losing their people.
like Eleanor is actually in the credits for Starfield.
Yeah, Eleonora, she's big modder and she's working for
Man,
Bethesda.
I almost wish they would have spent more time on Starfield in development and worked on Fallout 5 first. I think they would have done themselves more service that way. But it just seems like, because if you look at it per capita, it seems to me like Starfield's kind of fallen off.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people think that. I mean, like there are people
I
that still play it religiously.
Yeah,
Oh, I get
and they've
that.
said that they've still got something coming.
They've
Like
got
I
content
really
coming,
think
right?
that
And
they're
like
working on
since
the
they
next
opened the modding
DLC.
doors, there's probably new mods announced almost daily.
Oh yeah, like the one that just came out with King Gath that they've been promoting pretty heavily. Like
Is that the
Like the
the
Bethesda's been
Prometheus
promoting it.
ship or yeah?
It's called Watchtower,
Oh, the Watchtower.
where
That's what you're talking about.
it's
Yeah, I
like
was watching you play
DLC
that.
sized. Yeah, which I was getting in my ass kicked there. You probably saw that. Been trying to figure that out, but that is done by the guy who did the Doom mod for Starfield. So,
Oh
but
yeah.
this is like DLC size. Like it adds like a whole new faction. Like you can have a fleet of ships that'll help you out.
Oh, that's
Like you
what
can
when I
assign your
watched, you were
crew
trying
to
to figure out
pilot.
how to do your orbital strikes.
Yeah, and I figured that out. Which the Batista looking dude, Gren, actually straight up tells you that you have to install it on the ship that you're not using.
Right.
Like he's like, yeah, if you put this on the ship that you're piloting, it's useless. I'm like, I wish I would have been listening when he said that. And yes, the dude is straight up like Dave Batista. It's really funny.
That is great.
Well, that might have been, you know, kind of on purpose, maybe.
Yeah, and then Torin is Tony Stark. But
He's the
Marvel Universe thing going or what?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just man, I would really like to see that though, or at least something that along those lines. I think that would be cool. But
I know what you were gonna that you were gonna talk about Fallout 5. You wanted to see if we thought the TV show would influence the story.
right, that was one of my main things that I did want to go over because I think that it this I I think the TV show so far is kind of following a timeline. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
you know,
I can
but it's like an off. It's like it's not following the original storylines. It's its own storyline, but the time frames are in the right places.
Well, it has, yeah, and that's why I'm glad they said it after Fallout 4
yeah.
because it has to. Otherwise, I mean, because they have to acknowledge all the other lore,
Yeah, because it
and
is
don't and they
canon.
don't want to
They've said it's
do
canon.
something that would potentially conflict with the lore that would be coming. You know what I mean?
Well, and you
They
know,
they actually said that Bethesda told them not to do something in the show because they were going to address it in a future game.
well, it
If I
makes
Yeah,
me.
they
if
did. There was
Hmm.
so they actually did get an idea from them,
Hmm.
or they had gotten close to an idea that Bethesda had,
Wouldn't
yeah, I
that be
think that's
cool
what it
if
and
was.
Walter
he
Goggins' character would be like in some way the point of view of
I
it?
think that it was probably more of like an event or something is what I'm thinking, or like a place or
Well, I mean,
something.
who's
And
going to be the protagonist in the game? I wonder. You know what I mean? Like, who,
let's
or if you're going to have multiple
you.
options. That would be cool if it was like a choose your own adventure, because the way they're
It
talking
would be
about,
cool,
yeah, because
you know, if you could play that way, but and you know, since they've introduced ghouls into 76, who's to say that they can't do something like that in
well,
Fallout 5?
well, to give you multiple options as far as
Right.
you getting your workout in there.
So she started knocking the headphones off my head.
Yeah, Cillier's
I
dog
had to get
ears
I
kind
had
of.
to get the
Did it climb
cord
up
of
in
my
his lap?
headphones out of her
She looks so
legs.
funny
Yeah.
because she's like, they're not there. They're not there because of your filter. Like Ghost Dougie. No, I think it was just like there was something that they had come up with, like, hey, this would be cool. And then Todd was like, yeah, no, don't do that because that's
Yeah, I
not what
think
we're
that
going to do.
they got close to an idea that they were going to use
Yeah.
for the next game.
Hmm.
They were like, nah, nah, you can't do that.
I would like to see vehicles. Some sort of
Something, yeah.
some sort
That'd
of
be fun.
vehicle, some sort of fast instead of
I mean, we have
fast
bicycles
travel.
now and we still can't ride them.
Yeah, well,
You stick it in your camp and it's cute,
I
but
would
you can't
like
ride
it. I know this is not probably a very popular idea, but I'd like them to eliminate fast travel and make it where you got to have a vehicle to move quickly.
I don't
Yeah.
know if they'll ever get rid of fast travel because it's like in all the games, but
Yeah, every game has it nowadays.
yeah,
Well,
every game has a fast travel
instead of your
mechanism.
conventional fast travel, have where you go to a train station, the trains actually work.
That's kind of like what they did in Morrowind, where you had to either use a spell or get one of those stealth strike, like the giant locust things, or a boat. That's how you had to
Well,
do fast travel in
it's
Morrowind.
like in
Uh,
Hogwarts Legacy. So like you have to use the flu network or hop on your broom or walk.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
there. How would you get around quickly in the actual Fallout universe? Some sort of train car. There's tracks all over the place. Make it where
There are
they
tracks all over the place, but look at how many are wrecked or mangled or
Yeah.
whatever. So
right,
I
but
don't
we're
know how.
also got the ability of ingenuity. Like, why is this not something we do? That would be cool. Is if they managed to create different type of characters. Some that were like an engineer that could go and repair things, and
Fix.
yeah,
A lot of
just
work. It's a lot of work to rebuild the country's train tracks from basically scratch. Because, you'd have to get all the factories back up to make
well,
the steel and
not necessarily. You could
um,
refurbish some of the items that are already there.
well, sure, yeah, you can recycle stuff that's there, but you still have to have the facility so that you can bend it and shape it, form it and what you need it to be.
You
Yeah,
just need enough heat.
you have
Basically,
to wonder, like, why is it still a wasteland almost 300 years later? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
that was kind of what they were trying to get us to do in 76 is rebuild, but how many
right.
people actually rebuild? They just build their house and go about their day.
Well, but they do portray that, you've got people out there with their
Yeah, the
little
new
plot of land and they're
responders.
eking out their
Yeah.
little garden or whatever, but
yeah, but it's
it's
so rudimentary. Like it's like what happened to our intelligence level to be able to create?
Right.
You
well,
know,
you're in it, what it looked like for sure, at least in the TV show, like you're in a desert. So people have got to figure out irrigation again
yeah.
and
Which
figure out how to fix your soil so that it'll grow
Yeah.
something.
And there was the settlement system in Fallout 4, so
Yeah.
maybe they can just kind of expand on it more for what Fallout 5 is going to be. Which I know some people hate building, but it wasn't something you technically had to do in Fallout 4,
I almost think
aside
they should make
from
it something
building,
you have to do.
which,
Make
you know,
boats.
you know, you'd mentioned having an actual method for fast travel. They did that in Fallout 4 with like, you got teleported into the Institute.
Yeah. There you go. Build your little phasers or whatever those were.
Beam me
Beam
up,
me up,
Scotty.
Scotty. It's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think they should make it where you go to the train station and all of a sudden some, you know, guy that's pumping away by hand or like a super mutant's like,
Well,
hey,
that's
you
how
need
you
a
get to the
ride?
pit.
You know?
That's how you get to the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You take the little train
vertebrate.
car and you pump up and down and you get your little train car going over to the pit. That's how we got there.
Yeah,
Or
Then we
talking
have
somebody,
about Fallout 3.
boats. We have boats because that's how we get to Far Harbor, and that's how we
Yeah.
got to
hmm
the other one. I forgot the
Uh,
island.
it wasn't Nuka World.
yeah,
No,
instead of your standard combustion engine, have them
in
come up with
Fallout 3.
different ways, Have them come up with,
Well,
Yeah,
and
you're
even if we could just ride a motorcycle, I mean, we have them. We just can't ride them.
or a bicycle. Like,
Or a bicycle.
yeah, like we do have the Skyrim carriage in Fallout 76. So
Yeah, it
that's
just
true.
can't use that either. I
they-
mean, we just need to train these death claws to like pull a cart.
Yeah.
I mean, the cows are carrying all our crap. Why don't we just hook them up to a
I
wagon?
mean, I would have it where you like, so you got to find water. Like, you got to get the water from the river, put it in a pot, then you've got to cook, heat it up and boil it and then run it through a filter. And then now you got fresh water. And if you don't have fresh water during a certain period of time, you might die. And then have it where you got to hold on to some water. I just wish there was more to the game than what there is.
Yeah.
Crafting to me in the game is boring. Like
I like being able to fix things.
Yeah.
yeah,
I kind of like it in Fallout 3 though, where you can do it on the fly. Like as long as you got another hunting rifle on you, then you can fix your Lincoln, repeater. But, you know, I also see the point of making it difficult by making you find a weapons workbench because that makes more sense in real life. Like you can't
Yeah.
just like fix things with your hands, you know.
And they expanded on that in New Vegas with the ability to actually craft ammo and things
Yeah.
like that too.
yeah. I just think that's really cool to be able to do. It's so in other games that I've played, they have the ability to customize like your armor and your weapons and things like that, where you create like a power bit. And then with that power bit, you grab a modifier. You take the power bit and the modifier and you put them inside of a re-engineering tool and put them together, and it creates a clothing attachment or an armor attachment or a weapon attachment. And you put that weapon attachment into that weapon, and then all of a sudden that weapon's that much more stronger. It has this certain kind of attribute, and certain parts of your armor or clothing you can have exotic attributes to. So let's say that you're somebody that's focused heavily on carrying a rifle and you want to have, increased range, and that, along with that increased range, you're going to have action cost reduction to where you can fire your weapon more times before you get too tired, or you can have increased critical hit defense, so that when you get hit by somebody, you might have a chance of getting a glancing blow or an actual block or a dodge or something of that nature. And I think that would create a higher level of modifiability to the individual characters, to the point where you might actually be able to have viable PvP stuff outside of the game itself. In other words, like you have a single player game, full on single player game. And then from the premise of that single player game, they could create a strictly PvP kind of multiplayer version of the game. That's a side thing. Kind of like, what's the Nuka World?
Mm-hmm.
The
one from Fallout 4.
Yeah. So recreate Nuka World, make it where it's just all strictly PvP. When you go there, you know what you're dealing with, so people don't get pissed off at you for it.
Yeah. Choose your raider faction and battle it out against the other ones.
Yeah, and
That'd
then
be cool.
And then you have the ability as you're playing that these drops happen. So you get certain drops that make it to where you can modify your weapons and armor and stuff to become stronger. And it's not so cookie cutter to where everybody ends up on the same playing field. It gets to a point where the customization is so vast that you could mix and match things and possibly come up with a combination that makes you stronger than everybody else, Boop. So, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to say hi to Maverick. He's here. He showed up. Hey, Maverick. All right. We'll be right back. Give us a minute.
Recording stopped.
My internet is unstable, apparently.
Yeah, I
think
saw you froze up for a second there while you were.
I couldn't tell if it was me or you, and then it goes, your internet is, unstable.
We were continuing to talk, and you were like,
we were having a thunderstorm, so I'm actually thankful that I have internet at all for power.
So I'm really not surprised. It must just be moving in. It was supposed to be here earlier, but then it said
so Maverick.
like 10 o'clock.
Hello, Maverick.
It's going to rain tomorrow, too. Yippee.
Yeah, you're muted, Mav. There you go. So, Mav. So, do you have all your stuff together for the game? And do you think you can do the game in the next half an hour?
Yeah, I got my stuff. It's not that hard. Just gotta. I replaced the wheel with something else. So.
Well, you got to be able to see it. Can't see anything right now.
And so we can complete the game within 20 minutes?
No, it would need a full episode.
Okay.
That's what he was asking.
Well, you didn't show up, so we started talking about something else.
We had to do something because, I only got so much time.
It was getting late. Mommy's tired.
Yeah. Well, I tried to wake you up, but I'm assuming you fell asleep.
Yeah, we did.
No, it's been hot over here, and it finally cooled down. I've been up all day.
Okay.
My semi turned into a hot box.
Oh. So you went inside somewhere?
No, I sat in the hot box, and because I'm in the middle of nowhere right now.
Okay. Well, game show next week. Got it.
Yeah. It's practically done. It just it'd be good if we brought someone who's nice, because tomorrow's going to get angry.
Like J-Star?
Tomorrow.
Next week, whatever.
So probably not Warpath, because Warpath I don't think would be nice in a competition like that.
I'll think about it and see who I can find.
Maybe Chip?
Oh, yeah, Chip would be nice. Chip will laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jess may still be busy with a lot of her other stuff, but yeah, if we could get her on, that'd be fun.
Preston might be available.
Preston would be good.
He likes to
Yeah.
do stuff. So, I mean,
He-
Preston's
Yeah.
one of
Doesn't
those.
he have the acting thing on Thursdays?
I don't know. I've gotten him to just jump on the show multiple times. So,
Yeah,
Maybe,
Preston
maybe
would
his
be
class
fun.
has changed.
it wouldn't hurt to just ask him because he might not
Yeah,
be doing
exactly.
If he's doing something, he can just say no.
Mhm.
You know?
There
True
he is.
story.
Yeah. And then, or Lawrence, he hasn't done anything in quite a while.
He does, like, in the summer, he does trivia stuff on Thursday. Well,
I thought that was Brian that does that.
who?
Wait a minute.
Chip?
Lauren.
I'm sorry,
Lawrence does
Brad.
trivia at
I
the
don't know
bar.
why I
Oh,
said
Brad.
Brian. Yeah, I thought Brad did the trivia thing.
No, that's Lawrence. I don't think
Okay.
Brad does much these days. I mean, he's still pretty much like not going out in public much. He's
Yeah,
getting ready to
'cause
launch
yeah,
his
recovery.
Kickstarter, so we may want to have him
Yeah.
on to talk about it, but I don't know because it's not Fallout related. It's just
Actually, yeah, I think he said he's starting that the first. So
the first. He's going to launch it. the
Well,
first.
maybe he could come on, play the game, and then we can talk about what he's currently doing.
Plug
and
his
he can-
show.
Yeah, he could plug his
Yeah.
shit.
That'll
Yeah.
be what's that? Third. It'll be this third, July 3rd,
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe we can talk Kenny into coming out of seclusion to come.
yeah,
play
we
a
need to
game.
have Ken on.
I feel like
we
it's
all
too
need to
late
get
for him.
together.
You know what I mean? Like I know it's only
Yeah.
like it's like an hour earlier for him, but I feel like he is like cashed by that time. So
We still need to work out a time to where we can all, like, the four of us can sit down for tapes.
yeah,
It's either that, or you guys
'cause-
could do something with him on it, like on your own, an earlier time.
Yeah, and
or
that's
on a
what I
Saturday or
wondered,
something.
Brian
too,
did
with
say
some
he's
people.
willing to be there for that. And then he's like, "Oh, we need to get Old Man Liver involved too." I'm like, "Great, yeah. Just if there's a way we can record everybody's audio at the same time, so it's not an editing nightmare, fantastic."
oh come on, you want to do everybody individually and try and edit it together where it makes it
Uh,
sound like we're all together.
I'd make Kelsey do that. Like, everybody clap on the count of three.
Yeah, I don't do that shit anymore.
Don't talk for 20 minutes. We have to insert somebody else in here.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of editing as often as I humanly possibly
That is
can.
definitely beyond my
I
capability.
just don't have hours to put towards that kind of shit. It's like
Yeah.
anyway.
The episode
I don't have
that
hours
I
to
did
put towards the stuff I want to do.
with Kat and Vanya, it turned out that Vanya was recording his desktop audio, not the recording audio. I'm like,
All right, we're
actually,
gonna-
you know what? That would actually work better. So thank you.
We're coming on back.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the little commercial break. We got Maverick with us now. He apparently was having a situation with his dwelling being too hot, so he had to kind of
A lot of that going on out here.
yeah.
these days.
I guess
Probably
it's kind
where
of
you are too.
yeah. It's kind of per capita. Well, me, I got good air conditioning. When you live in that environment all the damn time, no,
Yeah.
you make sure that's the most important thing in your entire universe is air conditioning.
My home AC is doing great, but our work AC is not.
Not
It's
so
75
bueno.
degrees
Not
in
so
our
bueno.
pharmacy, and my drugs are going to start melting. So it's gonna be
No, not melting
Now, you
drugs.
don't want that.
Well,
Yeah.
so there's some.
because the FDA has like this, storage conditions, and they all top out around 75.
well, if you got child
70 degrees.
amoxicillin, you got to keep that refrigerated, buddy.
Once it's
Mhm.
mixed, yeah, we
Yeah.
don't mix those until they pick them up.
The parent, didn't-
But like literally
Yeah.
just stuff sitting on the shelf isn't supposed to get hotter than around 75 to 77. It's 75 in the pharmacy the other day.
because then it starts degrading the medicine, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
In some
mean,
cases.
Manufacturer's not going to. Well, the problem that we have is like the things that are gel caps. Like you got to bang that bottle to get them to break up so you can get them out because they're all stuck
Oh,
together.
yeah.
It's
it
like
gets hot.
it's like gummies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You ever go to get vitamins and you go to like get and it's in the middle of the summertime?
Right.
A lot of the times don't pay
And it's just
attention when they
glued
stock them
together.
off the shelf. They're like a clump. Clunk, clunk,
Yep.
clunk.
Yep.
Just take a bite off of there. You'll get what you need.
Right. I mean, that's like that's the first thing that happens. When that starts happening, I'm like, I put a work order in. I was like, somebody come fix this.
So, where were we at? What were you talking about?
About 5
Yeah,
fast travel. You were talking about your fast travel.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing, but I kind of got to the end of that.
And then we were talking about making our own things, like customizable. And you mentioned Nuka World.
Well, just
About Nuka World.
to me, I
I-
love multiplayer. Like that's just me, I like any game to have a multiplayer element to it because
Well,
to me,
you know that
there
it's not
wouldn't
going to be
be-
multiplayer. I'm pretty
No.
sure Fallout 5 is not going to.
well, they probably are going to veer away from that in some degree, but they could always do a spin-off element that has a multiplayer option to it.
See, and
or-
that's
One
what I was
thing I would
hoping for
like-
Starfield.
Or they
I
can
wanted
do
Starfield to like have a place like you can play it by yourself, or you can like join a server with other people or something. That's what I
Yeah,
want to
visit
do.
everybody's outposts and do like ship
Right.
tours, things like
I mean,
that.
we're building all these fantastic ships and stuff, but I want to show them off to my friends, like I do, in Fallout
Either
76.
that or
I'm
have
like, come
a
see my
thing-
camp.
or have a
Yeah.
thing in 76 where it kind of lets you go to the same area that Fallout 5 is in a multiplayer element. That way
I
they
mean,
can
you never
continue.
know. We got
That way they can
We've
continue
got
76 going as that
2 places
multiplayer
to go
platform.
to now,
Yeah.
and we
One
make
thing
it
I would
more.
like to see, like they kind of introduced some concepts as like the lore behind ghouls. And
Yeah.
I would like to see that expanded on, which they kind of hinted at it in 76 also when we got the ghouls with the whole
Yeah, because I
the
was
fix.
I was a little
drug.
surprised at how short that like new quest was to become a ghoul. How short it
Yeah.
was. Like you literally talk to like 2 people, and then it's bam. Okay, go do it.
And there that it brings up the question of whether or not all ghouls eventually go feral. It's just a matter of time. Like they never gave us a straight answer.
A definitive. It was like
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
the drug that kind of pushed it away, and it's like, well, can it reverse the effect, or can it completely?
No,
Like,
I don't think it can because the guy that the ghoul runs into in the TV show, Roger, was going and he didn't offer. I mean, maybe it's because he was selfish that he didn't offer to help him, but I think he maybe would have. I just think that at that point it's like too late. Like once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, Lucy smashed everything, right? Or was that later?
Yeah, he didn't have any. Yeah,
Well-
that was then because he took her prisoner after she smashed everything.
Right, because he got pissed.
I think she
Yeah, he didn't
smashed
have
it
any.
because she was like, "Ooh, bad drugs,"
It was an accident
and didn't. Oh, was it? Okay.
because she was trying
Yeah.
to fight the thing was eating her and she was trying to fight it
Yeah,
off
the-
and she grabbed his bag and started beating
Oh,
it. and
okay,
then-
now I remember.
The
Okay.
axolotl
Yeah.
It's been a while
looking
since I've
gulper, yeah.
watched the show, so
Yeah, the axolotl looking gulper, exactly. What the axolotls are going to turn into in another couple hundred years. Be
Man.
big and mean.
I
Eat you.
Fingers in their
want to
mouths.
see them go to New York.
Oh, that was disgusting.
I want to
Yeah.
see them. I want to see them go to Washington D.C. and have the.
Well, I keep
very
thinking like our
creepy
next
things.
expedition is going to be there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do that, but they might be holding off because literally everyone bitched about the pit. They're going to bitch about DC too.
Yeah,
Because they're going to want it to be as big as it is in Fallout 3, and I just don't think an expedition can be that big.
Well, I don't mean
That's the
game wise. I'm
thing,
talking
like-
about the TV show. Like I think
Yeah.
on the TV show,
Well, if they're going to run, what, 5 seasons is what we're hearing?
you never know how.
At
it's
least
gonna turn
5?
out. Right.
yeah. I think
Because
that's
the
what they're
third is
shooting.
guaranteed, and then they said something about another 2 to 3 years. So, or 2 to 3 seasons. So,
That's the thing. Like every
are they
game,
going to end up there because they just going to work their way across the country or what?
aside from the first 2 games, which I mean, even then, like every game has taken place in a new area. So I would love
Well,
for
newish.
that to
First and
continue.
second
It's
were
like,
close.
well, that's what I said. Like the first 2 games were both in California.
Yeah.
So when the show went back to California, I'm like, we've already seen that, and now we're going to another place we've already seen. Cool, this is.
I want 'em to go to
basically what's gonna
Texas.
be-
But
the
it
New
makes
Vegas
sense
too.
with
Yeah, I would
the
love to
story
see
that they're
Texas.
telling with him being an actor.
Yeah, that's
And,
fair.
it makes sense that he was in Hollywood and all this stuff happened there. And then for them to be chasing down Mr. House, well, obviously, where's he? He's in New Vegas.
Well, and
Now,
that's
whether they're actually going to see him or not, we don't know because he
they
could be
said that they
dead at this
don't
point.
want to give a definitive answer for any
Yeah.
game, but they kind of have to now, at least to an extent, because you can
I don't know
kill
how they're going to
House in
avoid
New
it
Vegas.
because if
Yeah.
Hank is going to go see him, either he's alive and the house wins, or he's dead
Yeah, they
and
can't just ignore that.
could be other things going on.
Yeah, well, and then it's like, so there's a point where I was wondering if they're going to go like, all right, so you have this set of characters and it fades off, and then all of a sudden you start with new set of characters, and then it comes back to them later. You know what I mean? Like,
And they may do that.
you know what I mean?
They could.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that
there's
would
going to
be
be a
Oh, I'm
huge
sure.
like
Yeah, we're gonna
diversion.
have to see
So
flashbacks.
now that
Not
Maximum,
so much flashbacks, but different points of view.
right? But now that Maximus is a full-fledged knight and he's probably staying with the Brotherhood and not going to go live in a vault with Lucy, where is he going to end up on the East Coast now?
That would be cool, like to have him show up. I think we
Right.
talked about that before. Like, have like one or two characters from the other one stay, but they go to like
Right.
Washington D.C. or whatever, and then they get into a whole new archetype with different characters and
Right, and
different,
they and you find new people, right?
right.
So like I
yeah.
could see Maximus being the one to come to the East Coast because he's now big knight, and I don't know, maybe they want to see him in Boston or something. He may end up there. They might vertibird him east, and then we'll get to see new areas
That's true.
there.
Yeah.
I think that as far as Lucy and the Ghoul go, they're going to stay where they are, unless they start hoofing it across the country. But I think Maximus he could go anywhere.
Well, think of the character development there, because you could take him from that guy that was beat up and that guy that's kind of like,
Yeah.
not too sure of himself.
Well,
and
now
then
he's like
send him
the big
to-
honking hero because he just got the cold fusion.
Right, but and
So
then
I could see
send him
them like,
somewhere
hey,
else, and
we
then
need to
all of
see
a
the
sudden
guy.
he's no longer this, sissy running away from things.
No,
He's,
no. He's the big shot now.
Yeah, but he shows real courage, and like he develops more as a character and gets more serious. Because it's kind of
Well, I hope so because,
Hank
in all
knocked him
honesty, I
out
mean, he
really
fell
quickly.
into this. Everybody thinks that he's some big shot. Oh, you killed her and you got cold fusion. He didn't kill her.
right.
No.
He's dying.
Yeah, I think.
But-
Well, and we still
He's
a
not
lot
gonna
could
correct
happen
them.
with Thaddeus as well, because Thaddeus knows everything that happened, and
Yeah,
and
except
who knows
he
what's going
doesn't.
on
He
with
does
him?
not
He could
know
turn into a
that
super
that
mutant.
he ended up
so.
not killing her.
well,
So
at
he,
the same
for all he
time-
knows, he's like, "Oh man, you stepped up and you killed her and you got it and blah blah blah." He doesn't know that he didn't.
Well, and you could have Thaddeus stay in the other environment, have those two stories playing out, and then
Yeah,
have them
because
meet
I
up
don't
again
see any
later
reason why
on.
he would leave California.
And then you could have a new confrontation between the two characters later on in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you could because the Brotherhood's going to hate that Thaddeus is turning into something, probably a
right.
super mutant, but we don't know for sure. And then they're going to find him later, catch up to him or something, and be like, "Oh, he has to die." And maybe Maximus feels like something like, "Oh, I really don't want to kill him. It's not his fault, or he's cool, or whatever. He stuck up for me, or whatever." So that'll be a cool conflict to see.
Or he goes to run his mouth in public, and Maximus just takes him out before he gets a chance to open his mouth. Pow!
You think he will after what happened to him? He's gonna be like, I let this dude inject me and turn me into a ghoul or a super mutant or whatever. And I'm gonna, I don't have any business opening my mouth about how you you killed a knight and you stole his armor and pretended to be him. And
Oh God, can you imagine if we encountered the
Well, they're already
the
aware
snake
of
oil
that part.
salesman again in
yeah, they are
Vegas?
now.
Yeah, they're already aware of him taking the armor and whatnot.
But I don't think Thaddeus knows.
But
Does
they
Thaddeus
don't know that he killed him.
Well, he told him he didn't.
Yeah,
He said he was killed by the bear.
yeah.
Right.
Which he was injured and he would have died from. Well, he
Well-
did die from his injuries. I don't think that
It's-
Maximus so much
Maximus
as killed
just
him
didn't
as
do
let him
anything.
die.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. So
Yeah, he just let him die. So he could have helped. He could have given him stim pack. Probably would have helped. Gotten him to, called in and gotten somebody to come pick him up and take him back and work on him, but he didn't do that.
So Maverick, are you there? Maverick. Hello, Mav.
Can you imagine if the chicken The snake oil salesman
Snake oil
dude
salesman.
went nuts in Freeside.
Maverick,
I
you there?
forgot.
I
I
actually
forgot.
think
I
he
was
would
on
fit
mute.
into
I forgot. I
Freeside.
muted myself again.
Okay, so Matt, before we take off, I wanted you to let the audience know what we have planned coming up next week.
So next week, prepare to get angry.
Prepare to get
As-
angry.
Yes.
Yep, that's
As
gonna
we're
be tricky
playing.
because I'll be coming home from work, and I don't know if that's it's like a good thing to do to me.
You know what I had to deal with today?
You know what I had to deal with.
But I
Don't
might
even
come
get
on angry.
bring
So
that anger, that passion.
Explain to everybody what. So we're gonna be doing a game. What kind of game is it? Like, how's it gonna work? Give us a little background detail so that the audience will know what's coming up. Maybe they can send in information, or they can kind of participate maybe via email or something. How's that work?
So the game is called Don't Get Me Started. I have a. Normally it goes with a wheel. I don't have a wheel. Instead, I have a list. 1 through 30 list of many different mini Fallout topics. A lot of them are like Fallout 4. Then if you get something like that, for example, Fallout 4, you would start you go on for like 30 seconds. Or if you get very passionate, I won't stop you. But you have to start your rant by saying, "Don't get me started about Fallout 4" or whatever it is. So for example, don't even get me started on Fallout 4, man.
And then say it like that.
Yes.
With me, it's
Don't get me
started
started.
about.
So let me see if I understand this. So one player becomes the hater, and then you go for like
Yes,
75-second rant on whatever the topic is that you pick, and then everybody else, what do? They write down a few things that they think the other person's going to say?
No. They just sit there and laugh because we're very nice.
Okay, so we're not going that far with the whole premise of the game. Like,
So how is it a game per se?
no, it's just more of a.
Because I will give you points. I will not be involved in this.
Okay, so how are you getting points?
By how passionate you are. Maybe not like screaming and yelling, if you have like facts.
So it's kind of like doing a promo in wrestling, and you're going to judge how well it's done.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. So basically, it's a contest to see who bitches the best.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I saw this in another podcast I listened to outside of the Fallout Roundtable that I listen to all the time.
Okay, because I kind of looked up the rules for like a game that's called this that said "Don't Get Me Started," and they basically went on a 75-second rant, and then the other players would write down 3 things that they thought the hater was going to complain about. Every time the hater rants a predicted point, boom, that other person gets a point. That's how they were doing it on that. So
yeah, that could work too.
Anyway,
we'll figure it out next week. But anyway, that's coming next week. I have a big list. It's just I couldn't sleep all day because of the heat. My truck turned into a hot box. So that's why I wasn't here.
Okay, well, I posted the rules of the game normally into our RoundTable Crew Lounge. Actually, I could just put that. Well, I don't want to put that into the main lounge area until you've decided whether or not that's the way you want to go about it. But what I just saw as far as what the gameplay rules are, and I put that into our thing, and you can look that over and see if that's how you want to do things or not.
Yeah. So a lot of these topics, I'll give you like 10 seconds to look it up. So you're not unprepared for anything. And then we'll go from there. I have a big list, and I'm going to add more since we're not doing it this episode.
Okay, well, awesome. So, so
And they call
Cilior,
it in the ring,
so
essentially.
Cilior, you've got other podcasts that you do. You got anything coming up that you'd like to share real quick?
Well, I mean, I've kind of been working on those this past week. We just put out an episode of Tapes from the Waste, and I just did an episode of my Elder Scrolls podcast, Tamrielic Adventures. Eventually, we'll get another episode of Starfield sandwich out, hopefully in the next week or two. But yeah, that's about it
All right.
as of right now.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Just if you guys got any suggestions for show topics or anything you got to like to see us kind of knock around and talk about and bitch about or make fun of, send us an email at followrtb@gmail.com, or send us a comment on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at followrtb. Or even put it in the comments on the YouTube page. It's the Fallout Roundtable. Just type that in and go there and make sure you subscribe. That would be awesome. Please, thank you. And go ahead and leave your comments there. That'd be appreciated. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you for coming. Everybody, say good night.
Night.
Good morning, everybody.
Recording
Essentially is
stopped.
morning for you, isn't it? Since you
Technically,
Since you
I
just
gotta
woke
get
up.
going. I guess.
Thank you, Random
I guess I got-
Wasteland. Appreciate you. Have a great night.